Moving on to the next story. I don't know how many of you watch Fox News. I consume news from all media outlets because I believe that in order for me to make the most informed decision that I'm comfortable with, I need as much input, information, and data as possible. So I watch things that I don't agree with all the time. And that's not to say I don't always agree with, or that I never agree with Fox News. I will say that I mostly don't agree with a lot of things that are on there, but there are like moments of clarity, and that's fine. They're human, right? So they, you know, but I watch Fox News from time to time, as I watch other news outlets, independent journalists, and all kinds of stuff. When this coronavirus was was kind of coming into the public domain, as far as the media was concerned, like when they started covering coronavirus, right? This was maybe a month or so ago when they actually started running little segments about it. Fox News specifically, I remember, I think even like someone in the administration, if not the president itself, tried to. First of all, they tried to downplay it. I heard rumors of it being a Democratic hoax, other form of theories as to where it came from. Obviously, people believe that it's being blown out of proportion, and things of that effect, right? So basically, not giving it any respect for being what we now know of it to be, right? So there was tons of warning signs, to include, the United States being offered test kits for this virus by, I believe, the World Health Organization, because they had developed test kits that were effective and already being put in use in other parts of the world. But because our administration, they just stubborn, this is probably the right word. They said, no, we'll develop our own. And here we are now. Shortage of test kits. And the ones that they created that they spent a lot of money on didn't work. So, and I think one of the recent reports was that Italy, for everything that they're dealing with now, they actually sent us test kits recently. And I think you might be able to, if you could do a quick search on a browser after you queue up this next clip, if you can, find that number of how many test kits that Italy sent us. I'll just pull it up here, then I'll just spit out the number. But so let's go to what I want to show. I can't remember who put this video together, but they basically show the contrasting rhetoric from when Fox News was kind of downplaying the virus, saying it was nothing, it was a hoax, we don't have to worry about it, whatever, to now, where this is real, take care of yourself, all this stuff. And I want to show this because I want you all to understand how manipulative is the actual word, because that's what the media is doing. They want you to buy into their narrative, and they want you to kind of mostly do what they say for you to do, as opposed to being informative and journalistic and having integrity with what they're talking about. So I want you to see how quickly the media will change what the narrative based upon what's happening around them that they actually can't control. So go ahead and cue up the Fox News clip.
For the media to spin a narrative that this sell-off and this virus are all a result of President Trump, it's just wrong. But unfortunately, I guess they needed someone to blame. They were looking for someone to blame. They want to blame him for literally anything they can.
On the left, you've heard them tell you that the real worry is that you might use the wrong word to describe what's happening to the country. It's racist, they're telling you, to blame the most racist nation in the world for the spread of this virus. Right.
Look, bad things happen, and this virus is one of them. But setting off panic around the world is not the answer. We need to calm everything down, propose smart legislation. Will help do that.
I'm sure in the end, the mob and the media, well, they will be advancing their new conspiracy theory and their newest hoax. Probably they'll come up with, hypothetically, I'm just guessing, wouldn't shock me, President Trump, Putin, mad scientists in Russia, Ukraine are manufacturing the coronavirus on purpose so they can hurt innocent children and kill grandma and grandpa before they throw them over a cliff, before they feed them dog food.
Hate is boiling over, many in the liberal media using, and I mean using, coronavirus in an attempt to demonize and destroy the president. This is impeachment all over again.
People you trust, people you probably voted for, have spent weeks minimizing what is clearly a very serious problem. It's just partisan politics, they say. Calm down. In the end, this is just like the flu, and people die from that every year. Coronavirus will pass, and when it does, we will feel foolish for worrying about it. That's their position. But they're wrong. The Chinese coronavirus is a major event. It will affect your life. And by the way, it's definitely not just the flu.
Yeah, and I don't even have to explain that, right? Like that's like literally within hours, right? They went like full 180. So that's a little unfortunate. So going forward, the reason why I wanted to show you that is because going forward, I want you to take what you hear on the news with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that it's all false or fake news and all that. I just want you to understand that the media has an agenda. The reality is that right now the media is controlled by six entities. Six entities from hundreds down to six. Six entities now control all media. I'm talking TV, radio, billboards, right? Like billboards that you see while you're driving. Like it's all controlled by six entities. And yeah, they may all have different names, right? Different, subsidiaries and all that stuff. But when you go up that chain and you find like the origins of where it's all coming from, it's six entities. So remember that. It's very easy for them to consolidate their message and then disseminate it. You guys remember that? You remember that Sinclair Broadcasting? Remember the one with all the local news where they were all... Remember that? Yeah. I sent you that link. Were you able to pull that up on going into the Gmail? See if you could pull up the Italy link. So yeah, again, everything that you hear is not always necessarily true.